Вы умеете прощать?
Да. Но не все.
А что невозможно простить?
Предательство.
So is that what ultimately killed Wagner leader Evgeny Prigozhin? Betrayal? Well, that's what many are saying. As I'm sure you know by now, Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin has reportedly been killed in a plane crash. Videos surfaced of a plane appearing to have lost a wing by way of an explosion crashing to the ground, with reports that all 3 pilots and 7 passengers are dead. Russian media are reporting that Prigozhin's name was indeed on the passenger list. Now, to be clear, we are still awaiting full corroboration as to whether Prigozhin was on board. As of the making of this video, the Times is reporting that the CIA and other international intelligence agencies have yet to confirm Prigozhin's death. So we're not precisely sure what's going on here. But having said that, Russian media is reporting that he has in fact died, along with the deputy leader of Wagner as well. Now, news of the crash came as Vladimir Putin was attending a ceremony honoring the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Battle of Kursk. And, of course, images of the Godfather attending the baptism while his enemies were getting whacked come to mind, of course, from Francis Ford Coppola's epic. And that begs the question, was this retribution for what Prigozhin did just weeks back? Again, as I'm sure most of you know, Prigozhin basically went rogue. He went full Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now, which, interestingly enough, is another Francis Ford Coppola film. Prigozhin had a major rivalry with Russian military leadership, particularly the Minister of Defense Shoigu, as well as the Chief of the General Staff Gerasimov. It was a feud that had been ongoing for months. Prigozhin posted a number of very public, insubordinate comments about Shoigu and the Russian military leadership in general over the last few months, particularly from Bakhmut, and it appeared to reach critical mass. He garnered a number of his Wagner troops to the city of Rostov-on-Don, near the Donbass, and basically threatened to storm into Moscow and take over the leadership of the Russian military. Now, again, to be clear here, this was never a coup, as the woke Western media consistently lied about it. It was a mutiny. It was not a coup. It was a dispute within the Russian armed forces. It was never directed towards overthrowing Putin. But it was directed at overthrowing Putin's appointees. And so by extension, it was an assault on Putin's leadership. And of course, Putin gave a very public address to the nation when he said this.
Тот, кто организовал и готовил военный мятеж, кто поднял оружие на боевых товарищей, предали Россию и ответят за это. А тех, кого пытаются втянуть в это преступление, призываю не совершать роковую и трагическую, неповторимую ошибку. Сделать единственно правильный выбор. Прекратить участие в преступных действиях. Верю, что мы сбережем и отстоим то, что дорого и свято для нас. И вместе с нашей Родиной мы одолеем любые испытания, станем еще сильнее.
Now, for those listening by way of podcast, one of our 15 million downloads, we're grateful to say, Putin said that those who organized and prepared the military rebellion, who raised their arms against their comrades in arms, betrayed Russia, and they will answer for it. They betrayed Russia. And as we saw in the opening clip, Putin does not forgive betrayal. And of course, the mutiny failed, and a deal was worked out where Prigozhin was allowed to basically exile himself to Belarus. But he's made appearances all over the place since then, most recently in Niger and Africa, to help with maintaining order after the successful coup there. So he may have thought himself invincible. And this was Putin's way of reminding everyone in Russia what happens when you flaunt that kind of presumed invincibility publicly, especially after engaging in that one act Putin has said he cannot forgive, betrayal. However, what we have to understand here, and I think this is very important, Putin is not the only one that wanted or may have wanted Prigozhin dead. Now, I don't mean to be coy here, but you know, Hillary Clinton actually is on record blaming Prigozhin for her losing the 2016 election. So for all we know, Prigozhin got Epsteined. He was yet the latest to succumb to the Clinton curse. But more seriously, unfortunately for Prigozhin, He had a number of enemies that would be happy to take him out. And we're going to find out precisely who. But first, gang, when was the last time you thought about where the money you paid, your phone bill, actually goes? Did you know that in 2021, multiple major phone carriers donated over $10 million to far-left pro-LGBT causes? Most major carriers actually have almost perfect scores from the far-left Human Rights Commission, which measures these companies' commitment to promoting LGBT activism. Well, my fellow patriot, there's no need to despair. Patriot Mobile is a nationwide mobile phone service made by and for conservative Christian patriots. With 4G and 5G coverage in the majority of the United States, there's simply no reason to keep giving woke mobile your hard-earned dollars. Patriot Mobile offers up to $500 to buy you out of your current woke phone plan and join the parallel cellular economy. They offer a wide range of cellular and data plans, fantastic coverage nationwide, and support not just this channel, but the fight for faith, family, and freedom across the USA. Click on that link in my description below and get free activation today with my code TurleyTalks. Click on that link below or call 972-PATRIOT and boycott woke corporate America today. Here's Daniel McAdams of the Ron Paul Institute.
I got to ask you about Prigozhin. What are you hearing? Was he really on this plane?
Yeah, it's fascinating, and I don't claim to know the answers. I've been looking at it as much as I can over the last couple of minutes. The interesting thing is that people who love Putin and people who hate Putin both think the same thing, which is that he did it. People who love Putin say, well, there you go, you shouldn't mess with him. This is what happens. And people who hate him say, look, he's a monster. He kills his rivals. So I think that's interesting. I think the question of who benefits should come into play if he was indeed murdered. Now, I saw the plane go down. It looks like one of the wings was blown off. It very well could have been a bomb. It could have been sabotage. It could have been a false flag. So it's not very productive to speculate. However, the way I see things, I don't see how it helps Putin, makes him look better if he were to have such a high profile. It just seems to go against what I understand to be his temperament. So who knows? It's a fascinating story, though.
So McAdams he's on to something here. Why would Putin do this so publicly? I mean, it actually could come across as a bit of an embarrassment for Putin, especially in light of woke Western forces threatening to topple the Nigerian junta that Wagner forces are helping to protect. We have to remember that Prigozhin was the leader of the Wagner campaign to take the strategic Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, which he successfully did. And it was the bloodiest, most prolonged battle of this whole year-and-a-half special military operation. In other words, Prigozhin is a hero in Russia. But to Ukraine, he's the most villainous person, second only to Putin. So there was obviously a major Ukrainian interest in taking him out as revenge for the fall of Bakhmut. Keep in mind, Prigozhin was killed, or better, presumably killed, a year ago, almost to the day, when Russian philosopher Alexander Dugin's daughter, Daria Dugina, was killed in a car bomb explosion. She was just 30 years old, an incredibly promising career in broadcasting. The murder was a monstrous outrage, and it was blamed, of course, on Ukrainian terrorists. So are we seeing the same thing here? Again, it's still unclear how the plane came down, but could a bomb have been placed on the plane in a manner comparable to the way to Daria Dugina's car? Are French forces to blame? I mean, they're obviously very upset to see their former colony in Niger and Burkina Faso and other Sahel region nations expel French forces from their country, an expulsion aided and abetted by Wagner forces, led, of course, by Prigozhin. Can you say Nord Stream pipeline sabotage? So all of this is to say things still remain very, very unclear, which unfortunately is the only thing that is clear in the ongoing fog of war. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.